This is the fun ones, doesn't it?
It's true.
Gives me the juicy stuff.
It's true.
It is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the Tiffin City Council meeting of Monday, August 4th to order. We have the invocation being led by Councilmember Jones, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by some special guests.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask that you would guide our path today, and more specifically, our thoughts, words, and actions. Amen.
Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Reesner.
Here.
Councilmember Snee.
Here.
Councilmember Thacker.
Here.
Councilmember Doherty. Councilmember Hayes.
Here.
And Councilmember Horniman.
Here.
6 of the 7 members are present this evening. Minutes from July 21st, 2025 regular and committee of the whole meetings were distributed. Are there any corrections, deletions, questions on those? All right, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We are now under committee reports. Finance Committee, Councilmember Reesner.
No report, Madam President.
Thank you. Anyone from the Law and Community Planning Committee have a report this evening?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. A Law and Community Planning Committee meeting was held on Monday, July 28th in council chambers. Purpose of this meeting was to discuss amending ordinance 2025-54 regarding the mobile food vending license. Attending were council members John Hayes, Dennis Snee, Aaron Jones, Cheyenne Thacker, Scott Horniman, Kyle Daugherty, Mayor Lee Wilkinson, and City Law Director Zach Fowler. Councilman Daugherty called the meeting to order at 5:12 p.m. After discussing this matter for nearly 2 hours, council heard many different points of views from all council members and the mayor. Council bounced around many ideas and topics that we as a group discussed. One of our goals was to come to an agreement on what made the most sense for the citizens of Tiffin, local businesses, food vendors, police department, fire department, and the city of Tiffin. As a result of these discussions, City Council recommended amending this ordinance to state the following. A $25 per week fee to location permits, a 100-foot barrier for food vendors selling likewise food near a brick and mortar building, change 3 days to 24 hours for probation for period of operation, and that these changes would take effect April 1st, 2026. Councilman Daugherty made a motion to have the law director draft legislation to amend ordinance 2025-54 to add the $25 a week fee to the location permit, add the 100-foot requirement, change 3 days to 24 days for period of operation, and that these changes may be
You can't close the door.
made effective.
You can't close the door.
You can't close it, it's a public hearing.
Thank you, though.
I want to do the same thing.
And that these changes be made effective April 1st, 2026. Councilman Hayes seconded the motion. The motion passed 3-0. And with no further business, the meeting adjourned at 7:02 p.m. And that concludes our report.
Thank you. Any questions on that committee report? All right, that takes us to materials and equipment. Councilmember Jones.
No reports, Madam President.
Personnel and Labor Relations, Councilmember Hayes.
No report, Madam President.
Recreation and Public Property, Councilmember Snee.
No report, Madam President.
Street Sidewalks and Sewers, Councilmember Thacker.
No report, Madam President.
Economic Development and Downtown Planning, Councilmember Horniman.
No report, Madam President.
Thank you. Does anyone see the need to schedule a committee of the whole meeting? All right, we are under reports of the officers. His Honor, Mayor Lee Wilkinson.
Thank you, Madam President. We had our last community needs assessment meeting last Thursday for the 4th Ward. And if you were not able to make it, or you have some awesome ideas that you didn't think of at the meeting, you can still turn those in by logging into tiffinneeds.com. And those will all be submitted, and we'll get a report, and we'll discuss those and decide what projects we can do with the CDBG funding. Also, we're kind of nearing the end of summer. It doesn't seem like it. But for those people going back to school, we're in August now, so you probably have done some school shopping. And the pool is going to be open just for a short time longer. Next Tuesday and Wednesday is dog days at the pool. So if you have a dog that likes the water, take them out to the pool next Tuesday and Thursday on the 12th and 13th. Okay, and now I would like to introduce, well, first of all, before I do that, I'd like to thank the Boy Scouts for coming in and leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But I'd like to introduce the Tiffin City School Superintendent, Jerry Nudo, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with schools and what they have planned for this fall.
Ah,
I may need some assistance with this, Mayor.
I think if you hit the start the app.
If not, this is going to be posted on our website, and I'm only going to use it just as a reference, not as a talking mechanism. There is not. It is completely up to you. Like I said, we're going to post it on the website. That's me too, so.
That's one there. There should be like an icon or something that pops up on the laptop. Right. Yeah.
You used to work for the county.
Yeah, it's not liking the system.
hate to be that person, but have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in? Sorry. Sometimes
Yeah, hey,
technology hates us.
they rebooted the Enterprise, might as well, it worked.
I can, if this doesn't work, we'll move forward.
There's nothing,
Okay, we'll improvise.
the only one I would say is,
Thank you, and I apologize for making you guys wait. I don't understand the technology, obviously. So first, I'd just like to thank Mayor Wilkinson and Chief Pauley for setting this up so that our team could come talk about Tiffin City Schools. Their collaboration and support over the last 18 months in working with me has been phenomenal. We would not be where we're at without the collaboration of our team, which includes Mayor, Chief Pauley, City Council, our community, and obviously our great staff. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'd also like to start off by recognizing some of the great team members that we have. First of all, we are honored to celebrate Mr. Chris Mansour, who was one of 4 finalists for the Ohio Teacher of the Year. So Chris was nominated by the district, and he has gone through 2 steps already. He was named the District Teacher of the Year, and then he was also named the Regional Teacher of the Year. And this Friday, he will present an interview for the last time with 3 other candidates to be named Ohio Teacher of the Year. And while Chris was nominated and does a fantastic job, he's just one of the great teachers that we have working with our students, and I'm privileged and honored to work with all of our staff. Secondly, I want to make sure that we recognize our Board of Education. They have a very tough job. Not only do they have to work with me, but they have to tackle all the things that are going on in the current climate as it relates to education. With us tonight are President Mr. Larry Kizabeth and Dr. Megan McBride. And again, thank you for your support and all you do to support Tiffin and our students. I can't mention enough our staff. You will hear me tonight reference team, staff. We have a great teaching staff. We have a great support staff. We have some buildings that we can talk about a little bit later on that are aging, that have needs. And Mr. DeVore, our maintenance team, and our custodial team do wonders to make sure that our students have the best learning environment possible given our buildings. I want to thank our community. I've been in the district now this will be starting my 4th year, I believe. I came in as the student director or student services director, and the support that I have received every day that I come to work has been great. It's been great from our staff. It's been great from the community. And that speaks to why we are all here tonight. And then finally, I want to make sure that we recognize and celebrate why we are all here, and that's our students. We have students that are doing amazing things, and it's really tough sometimes to highlight everything that is great going on. But our students are achieving at a level that I think is remarkable. And again, I think that's due to them, their families, and our staff. And I think that the trajectory that we are on for teaching and learning is just, it's going in the right direction, and it's going to continue. And that, again, is due not to one person who's sitting in the superintendent seat. It is due to everybody that is part of our team in educating students. I did have a PowerPoint tonight. It was more of a reference. I was not going to really use it or read off of it. It will be posted on the Tiffin City Schools website later for anybody who wants to read it. Additionally, please feel free to reach out to the admin building, and I will email it to anybody who would like it. So let's really talk about Tiffin City Schools. So we're really founded right now on 4 pillars: teaching and learning, school culture, graduate success, and fiscal responsibility. And we take all of those pillars very seriously, and they drive every decision that we make. And that goes down to the very heart of the Department of Education and Workforce, which means we are bound by an obligation to fill out a plan, it's called the One Plan, that highlights our district goals, and that allocates our funding for the year. We have to identify what are our goals and how are we going to spend the money that we are given, not only from the Department of Education, but also our taxpayers. So we take those 4 pillars, we evaluate them and say, how do we put them into measurable goals that really impact student success? We are in a cohort of 3 years. We are in the 3rd year of that cohort. So we will be rewriting our district goals using the data we have gathered over the last 3 years. Currently, our 2 district goals are to increase student attendance and to implement high-quality instruction. Again, we are doing that through evidence-based research. It's explicit direct instruction with frequent assessment. But our main goal is to eliminate and minimize barriers for students so they get to school. They can't learn and they can't access our great staff without being at school. So we spend an awful lot of resources, both in personnel and other means, in order to try and minimize those barriers, work with our families and our community members to increase student attendance. We have changed the way we operate, and I give all the credit to the Board of Education for this. So we need to be transparent in our decision-making. We also need to have processes that outline how we make our decisions, and are they actually aligned to our 4 pillars and our district goals. All of that will begin to flow through all of our committees that we have. And we have 6 committees currently. 2 of those are board-directed, which means they're subject to public meeting laws. And those are the Finance Committee and Policy meetings. So really what happens is the board is really driven by making sure we're fiscally responsible and that we have policy in place to govern how we operate, and task me with making sure we follow that policy. We have 4 other committees that are all geared towards going back to not only our 4 pillars, but also making sure that we are addressing our 2 district goals. And so those educational programming, we have facilities, we have support services, and we have, now I'm forgetting the 4th one. I have to look. Business Advisory Council, I apologize. So that's the framework that we are operating on and that we will operating on moving forward. What I'd like to do for the rest of the time is just kind of address three major areas and then address any questions that anyone may have. So when we look at, we truly are an academic institution. Everything we do is driven by student success, making sure we're opening up doors for student learning and minimizing the barriers to that learning process. Our academics have improved over the last 18 months. We've been tasked by the Department of Education to implement the science of reading. And again, going back to our 4 pillars and looking at not only number 1, teaching and learning, but number 4, fiscal responsibility, we have updated a lot of our curricular resources. We had curricular resources in the district over a year ago that were from 2008 and 2010. So we're asking our staff to use resources that are extremely outdated and provide the best educational opportunities for our students possible. And through doing that, historically, if we look at the Tiffin City Schools report card, our achievement scores meet state standards. We're a 3-star. We can do better than that. Our staff is better than that. So the board has allocated funds for us to be able to update those curricular resources. So over the last 18 months, we've been able to upgrade K-8 ELA resources for English language arts, and we've been able to update math resources for K-8. In addition, we're addressing some of the other gaps, which are high school math, social studies, 4th and 5th grade social studies. And our academic team has put together a 6-year cycle in which we will evaluate in the course of that cycle every single piece of curricular resources we have to determine if it is still the best quality that we can provide and to ensure that we are also meeting the standards that are set forth with us. Number 2 I'd like to talk about is fiscal responsibility. And so we talk a lot about fiscal responsibility, and sometimes those words are lost in the work that we're actually doing. So we are deficit spending currently right now in Tiffin City Schools. A little over a year ago, we were projected to run out of money in 2028. So we looked at that very seriously. The board was engaged with discussions, and we made some changes. We know that we have limited financial resources when you look at the long term, and the board directed we need to provide the best education for our students. We are also able to look at minimizing expenses through attrition. So every time we have a staff member who leaves for bigger and better things or retires, we are evaluating whether or not those job responsibilities can be absorbed. So in the last 18 months, we have saved $650,000 in attrition costs. We also project that going into this year, we are going to be able to save at least another $350,000 by allocating. So our staff size in the administration is shrinking, and we're able to then use that money and put it back into what we need to support our staff and students for learning. And the last piece I'd like to touch on is just, we talk about teaching and learning, and you cannot have a whole child experience without extracurricular activities. So it's athletics, it's visual and performing arts. And our students are excelling in all of those. We're really excited about our athletic program. We closed the spring with Jack Newlove taking 3rd in the state in the hurdles. We had a relay team that set records and qualified for the state, and that carried on with our football team. It was started by our football team last fall entering the playoffs. With our performing arts, both in band and also choir, we were able to achieve 1s at the regional competitions of excellence. And our visual arts program is outstanding. We are producing art. We had a state champion last year competing down in Columbus for visual arts. I believe our staff is really encouraging, supporting, and dedicating their time to make sure our students come out with the best well-rounded experience that they possibly can. I'm so excited for Tiffin City Schools in the future, and I can't wait to see what we can all do together. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
I'd like to ask a question. I totally understand where you're coming from with trying to save money through attrition. We're doing some of that here at the city with our police force and maybe distributing jobs in a different way. But at what point does spreading out responsibilities put a burden on the students and on the staff?
So right now, all of the attrition we have taken has not impacted the classroom. So it has not impacted student class sizes. It has not impacted curricular resources. It has not impacted cutting and staffing. Most of the attrition we're taking is at the higher administrative levels. When I first came into Tiffin City Schools, it's related as the cabinet. There were 8 individuals who met with the superintendent as part of the cabinet and administration team. Right now, we are down to 3 people. So that burden we're trying to take on so that it does not impact students. Now, back really to the point of your question, though, is how long can we sustain that before that happens? We're pretty much at that point. We're pretty much at the point where any decision we make moving forward could impact our students and our staff, and it could impact athletics and extracurricular activities, either by making cuts or charging fees for those type of things. And those are not what I want, what the board wants, or I believe what the community wants.
Thank you.
Councilmember
Sir.
Herman.
Oh, thank you. Greetings from a former person who music and extracurricular sports kept me in high school and got me into college. I really love what you're saying and everything, and it's really important. Way back when they used to call it total student development, and I was one of those where I was more of a social thing than actually studying, which if I'm interested, I'll study. And, a lot of kids are like that. But my question is, I kind of heard a rumor that there's talk about possibly going back to the neighborhood elementary school thing. I mean, just from a cost thing and transportation and all that. In Pride, it's one of those, I remember there was rivalries when I was growing up. I was just curious how that is progressing.
Absolutely, it's a great question. So historically, what I believe is that decision to move away was about 12 or 13 years ago and it's supposed to be temporary, and it hasn't changed since. So right now, the board is tasked with us to determine what is the impact. And when I say what is the impact, it's really looking at a number of key pieces. It's really looking at student achievement, right? It's looking at collaboration. It's looking at attachment to a school. When you change schools every 2 years, there cannot be that attachment. And then there's obviously the other pieces that come into play, which are the expense, the finance piece of it. Transportation would have to change drastically within. So we have our team, Randy Conger, the Director of Transportation, is evaluating, coming up with the plan. Mr. Bose is really looking at another key piece. It's not just in staffing and numbers. It's really about teacher licensure and how that impacts the district. So the board is going to have that information available to them so that we can reach out to our stakeholders, gain input, and then make a good decision for the district moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I want to add one piece to that. The board also has looked at, we need to become very much more intentional in planning for our future. And so what that means is we really have laid out a 6-year plan. Right now in November, we're going to come to the community for an operating levy. In 2027, there's the possibility for a PI, permanent improvement renewal. So this election in November is really about new monies. The PI renewal in 2027 is sustaining what we already have. It's not an increase in any monies. And then in 2029, coming to the community and looking at a facility upgrade for our elementary, which would be a K-5 building. We're really governed by the Ohio Facilities Commission, and the most financial support we can get is when we minimize the number of buildings we have in the district because they believe it's more efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Councilmember Hayes.
Could you speak a little more on some of the past barriers to attendance that you've addressed already, and then maybe some of the ones that you see kind of going forward or what you guys are talking about right now? I'm just kind of curious where that's at right now.
Sure. So I think that we have some aggregate data that looks holistically at attendance and those barriers, and then we know there's some that are quite specific to populations of students we serve. So holistically, I think that across the country and across the state, and coming back, and I hate saying it, but in coming back from COVID, we saw a dip. We saw a number of students across state and in the Northwest region that didn't return to in-person schools. They stayed online. We've had some opportunities to continue online service, but what the research really says is that that's not the best avenue for most students to learn. It is great for a subset, but not the general student in and of itself. And in transitioning, coming back, we're slowly breaking down those barriers. And some of it is comfort, some of it is anxiety, some of it is just, stress of coming back and having that day-to-day pressure of being in a building, not only socially but academically. I think we also have somewhat of a transitory population. So we have a homeless population in Tiffin City Schools that impacts not only attendance, but in transportation. I want to give a lot of credit to the other school districts and superintendents within the counties, because with the McKinney-Vento Act, we're able to do certain things and have some government monies in order to help. But again, I think we have to reach out to families and find out what is their individual barrier and how is it we can support it through mental health services, through schools within the buildings, transportation, et cetera. We also have a set of students with disabilities that, again, some of those are not necessarily cognitive functioning in nature, and there's more of the social and emotional support. And again, it's making sure that we break down those barriers and we have the support systems in place. And again, it goes back to teaching and learning. A lot of what research is saying is that before great teaching can even be touched by students, we have to build positive relationships. So our staff is really trying hard to make sure they're building positive relationships, not only with students, but with families as well. So everyone is comfortable and trusting to come into the environment.
So this is almost more so on the enrollment side. When you first said it, I was thinking like the day-to-day, who shows up every day, but is that a little bit of both?
There's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Right, there's a little bit of both. We do have rolling enrollment that comes and goes to a transitory population. And then we have a subset of students. And overall, our attendance rate has improved. We finished the year with a 93.3% attendance rate for the entire district, not including preschool. That was up 0.3%, and our goal is 95. So I think we're making strides in that area. And when you're talking about reaching a benchmark goal, because once we hit 95, obviously we want to increase it, but hitting that benchmark goal is now really focusing on not the whole population barrier, but those individual barriers and supporting them as they need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you for coming to council. It was very informative. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say a few words, if that's okay. I know that all of us up here and everyone in this room wants Tiffin to be the best possible community that we can be. And to be the best possible community that we can be, we need good schools.
Yeah.
We really do. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Our team's accessible. We want to make sure that we're working with our community and all of our stakeholders. Feel free, call the admin building, reach out, and we'll make all the time that we can in order to answer individual questions. So thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that concludes my report, Madam President.
All right. Of course, thank you. Clerk of Council Ann Forrest.
No report, Madam President.
Director of Finance Kathy Kaufman.
No report, Madam President.
And Director of Law Zach Fowler.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Just one item. I had emailed all of you earlier today just the requirements on the cybersecurity program. So I don't have more details yet beyond the information that was in that webinar, but I encourage you to take some time and review that and review those materials, because we will have to start to the process of developing a plan that council will have to approve for that. And that includes not just identifying the threats and responding to them, but also there's annual training for city employees. So we'll just have to work through all that. So if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out, but it is something that we'll have to address. The state auditor's deadline is the end of this year. The statute takes effect September 30th. So you got a window of time here to develop that. And
Okay. Anything else?
nope, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Any questions on that? All right, we are now under written communications.
We have Mayor's request for legislation number 25-38, Authorization of easements for public sidewalk construction on Nelson Street.
Mayor's request for legislation number 25-38 will be sent to the Street Sidewalks and Sewers Committee.
Mayor's request for legislation number 25-39, HR Director and Executive Assistant.
Mayor's request for legislation number 25-39 will be sent to the Personnel and Labor Relations Committee.
Finance Director's request for legislation number F25-24 to amend the 2025 budget ordinance 24-94 to appropriate funds into the General Administration, Fire, Park, and Park Capital budgets.
Finance Director's request for legislation number F25-24 is prepared as 3 separate ordinances this evening. Ordinance 25-63, 25-64, and 25-65. I'd like to send ordinance 25-63 to the Finance Committee, and we will proceed with ordinance 25-64 and 65 this evening.
And then we have a notice from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for a new D5L permit for Spridge LLC at 155 Frost Parkway.
Thank you. This will be sent to the Street Sidewalks and Sewers Committee.
And that concludes the written communications.
Thank you. We are now under oral communications. Anyone wishing to address council may step to the podium, sign in, and direct their questions to myself.
Hello, I'm Alan Overmeyer. Sort of regarding to your ownership on County Road 90 and what we're referring to of Seneca Poultry and what's sort of going on at the moment that I know of or whether you've been informed of. Me and my wife went down to the Ohio Department of Ag and talked to Mr. Sam Mullins, who was out at the fairgrounds. We had a nice conversation with him, got explained a few things about the permit that still seems to be some issues with the permit for the Seneca Poultry. Straight out, he sort of says he thinks this will go through since it's sort of a little operation, 130,000. From what I keep seeing, first he suggested he might expand because what we're seeing is 1 million and 4 million chickens, buildings being put up. But as far as that goes, even I tried reaching out to Paul Kalmbach Jr., who's the other person on the permit. I still haven't heard back from him. I did speak with Mr. Boldy in person. Still wasn't very. He's basically what it still comes down to is the Ohio EPA, Ohio Department of Ag, and the ODNR basically can't really do anything until after it's built and there's a problem. So I think that pretty much covers what's going on at the moment. There was 300 comments made, concerns sent into the department, which they have to go through all of them. And Sam Mullins thought it'd be a couple months. Mr. Boldy referred in the paper it'd only be 4 weeks. Always seems to be a discrepancy of what we're hearing. And I think that pretty much catches us up on everything, other than, I wasn't going to mention this before, but either when the county mows my fence down or the deer knock my fence down or Mr. Dwayne King knocks my fence down, yes, my pigs have trespassed on your dump property. I will say one thing, they do not stay there. They leave. So there's definitely something still happening. So I think that's all at the moment. If anybody's got any questions, we'll go from there, or I'll try to keep you guys informed as much as we know. But it does look like, honestly, with the connections that I think is behind Seneca Poultry, it might not be able to stop it unless there's a serious concern in doing something about it. So.
Well, thank you again for coming to council
Thank you.
and the update. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Overmeyer? Okay.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council this evening? Sure.
My name's Chris Kurtz. I live at 2705 West County Road 90. I would like to thank the mayor and the council members for their voicing their concern over the safety for the citizens of Tiffin and their drinking water in this situation. I thought that was a huge step in which, it may turn out to help us on the road in, protecting our wells if something does transpire with this. For I am one of the many that live on the road as it is addressed now. It used to be called the dump road. Now it's just the road. As people see out in public, they ask, you live on the road? And it's like, yes, I do. This past Sunday after church, my wife and I took a short drive south of Tiffin through Upper, through Marcel's to LaRue, and then over to Harpster, where we drove past the Trillium Farms, Goshen 1 and 2, and then we went to Harpster, where the factories, these all start out as 2 buildings. These buildings, the same in all proposed sites on County Road 90, both sites at Goshen ended up being 6 buildings each. The Harpster facility is 8 buildings now. And, as you remember, I don't know if you got to see the whole permit that he had. These buildings that are proposed for on County Road 90 are 600 feet long, 60 feet wide, and that's times 2. So lay 4 football fields side by side, or in a better perspective, go down here to your doorway, walk across Washington Street until you're by the courthouse, and turn and look at Burns Electric door. This door to that door is how long each building is. As Mr. Overmeyer stated, they cannot do anything until something happens. So that's kind of, you can't protect your banks or your schools or anything until they rob them or there's a shooting, which that is totally wrong. And as these are addressed, this is not a family farm. This is a industrial commercial factory. This is not agriculture, which everybody on that road lives with cornfields in front of them, behind them, whatever. This is not agriculture. I have an address and a name of these facilities I'd like to give to each member if possible, that you could put it in your GPS. It's a half an hour down, half an hour back. You will be totally amazed at these facilities. Driving by the Harpster, it took 3 miles away from there to clear the smell. We did not have our windows down on the vehicle. That is how bad this is. And I'm just hoping that you guys continue your fight for the people of Tiffin and the surrounding people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kurtz.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council this evening? Step up to the podium. Yeah.
My name's Martin Kaufman, and I live in Tiffin here on 165 Cherry Street. And for the past 2 years, we've had neighbors across the street from us that refuse to mow their yards or trim their weeds. We have been calling over to city garage at the end of the month when the grass is this high for the last 2 years. They come over and mow it. And now the neighbors next to him have moved in and they refuse to mow their yard. They got 3 little kids that can't play in their yard. They put them out in the driveway and they play in the driveway. They put an orange cone up so they can play in the driveway. They can't play in the front yard. The backyard's twice as worse as the front yard. And city's been coming over and mowing it every month. Either we call or the other neighbor calls or the other neighbor for past 2 years. I'm at the point now where I don't think we should have to call all the time. I think somebody else needs to take care of this situation. I got pictures here. You guys can look at them. Pictures don't lie. I called a council member. I got a hold of Councilman Snabe, wrong ward, but he drove over and looked around. He knows what I'm talking about. And he kind of feels sorry for us that we're putting up with this. And he come out, actually drove out to our house and he looked around and he knows what it looks like too. There's got to be something we can do about it. And we got 3 grandkids that can't even go up and down the sidewalk. I got a picture of the sidewalk, grass has grown up everywhere.
Dead mice.
Dead mice. You see hawks sitting on the fence, and you know what they're doing. They're coming down and grabbing the mice up and eating them. They got garbage bags laying all over out back, tore open. There's a car out back. The weeds are all taller than the car. I think enough's enough. I want some help. That's why I called the councilman. I got the wrong ward, but he's been good enough to help us out, and he told me to come up tonight and speak to you guys on it. So if you want to see these pictures, you can see them.
Could you give me your address again?
165 Cherry Street.
Okay, that's what I got.
You're south of Miami, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're in my ward. Yeah, yeah.
Come over and look.
I just happened to know him, I guess. I didn't know.
I got pictures if somebody wants to look at them. I don't know how to do this thing.
No, it's okay. It's clearly not cooperating tonight.
Yeah, I've done it.
If you want to look at them,
Taking care of people from everyone's ward.
this is the backyard.
Good look, Kevin. I see some fun.
Yeah, backyard's really bad.
Here's the garage out front.
How do you even get into the garage?
They don't.
We've been dealing with this for 2 years. I'm kind of
It's
tired.
really
Uber Eats
longer.
like 4 times a day.
The one gentleman, because he's probably been there 6
Side
years,
yard.
and we've called.
Taller than the fence.
He was back today, weed whacking, because I guess he
He
got
got
a
a,
message last
he
week.
got a notice.
So I think he knows, like, tomorrow might be the day.
Here's the
or his
sidewalk,
Due
look.
day, you know.
There's the sidewalk. Look, now this is almost a month and it's due to call the city garage again, to have it mowed again. But why should we? I mean.
Right.
Or should we?
Sure, should we? Here's the side yard. Look at the weeds.
Okay.
This is in town.
The one guy
Got my
mowed his
message?
yard partially, but
Alright.
right there in front of the building, the weeds are still this high.
Yeah.
It's really bad. So, yeah, I went by there yesterday.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council this evening? Okay.
Well,
Oh,
hang on a
yes.
second.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I would kind of like to hear a little bit about the Boy Scout troop, if you don't mind, because thank you for coming and leading the Pledge of Allegiance for us, but I would hate for you to have to come and do that and then leave and us still not know anything about
Yeah.
troop, so.
Sure. My name's Kyle Elkert. I am the Scoutmaster for Boy Scout Troop 444. We're out of St. Joe's. We currently have 31 kids in our group. That's a very large group. But as you know, scouting is going down. We don't have as many kids. Our numbers are going down. We had 38 a couple years ago. So, but we want to make sure that everybody knows we're in the community. We're here to help. We're trying to do as many events as we can so the public sees us. We pass out pamphlets at the parades. So we hope, we feel it's a good group for the kids to learn, get their exposure to the world and do the things we do. So, yeah.
Okay.
Is there any questions or?
Oh, thank you for coming and leading the pledge this evening. It's great to see you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If you have any, did you fill out the form there?
I did not.
If you have the contact information, then anytime a project or something comes up where we could
Yeah.
possibly use a little extra help volunteering, then I can give you a call.
Okay, perfect.
Do the scouts still use the camp out on County Road 90?
We do actually. One of our leaders' family owns the campground that is next to the chicken farm, and if that goes in, we'll probably smell it and hear the fans. So it's kind of a big deal for us too. Like we don't want that. It might ruin the camping experience that we have for these kids. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you.
I won't be able to stand the smell.
Thank you.
You again.
Great, thank you.
Okay, that takes us to motions. Are there any motions this evening? Yes, Councilmember Hayes.
Yes, I'd like a motion to remove amended ordinance 2025-54 from the tabled legislation.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion to remove amended ordinance 25-54 from the table. Is there a second? Councilmember Herniman.
I'll second that motion, Madam President.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Great. Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk we can do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Hardeman.
Yes.
Motion carries with the vote of 6-0. Are there any other motions?
Not a motion, but just a point clarification for you all. If you want the legislation read, you need a motion for that. It's off the table. It's just not on the agenda.
Councilmember Hayes.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to have amended ordinance 2025-54 read tonight.
There's a motion to have amended ordinance 25-54 read this evening. Is there a second? Councilmember
I'll second
Herniman.
that, Madam President.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Do I need a roll call vote for that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Any other motions this evening? Okay. All right, we are now under resolutions and ordinances.
Resolution number 2025-32, introduced by Kevin Reesner. A resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the city of Tiffin on behalf of the state of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its OPWC fund for an Ohio Public Works Commission loan for the CSO-9-13, excuse me, and 15 inflow reduction project with the proceeds of tax exempt debt of the state of Ohio.
Thank you. This is the second reading of Resolution 25-32.
Resolution number 2025-33, introduced by Kevin Reesner. A resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the city of Tiffin on behalf of the state of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its OPWC fund for an Ohio Public Works Commission loan for the CP37AB/CP38AB, Ellis Street, South Sandusky Street, and South River Road Sewer Rehabilitation Project with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio.
Thank you. This is the second reading of Resolution 25-33.
Amended ordinance number 2025-54, introduced by Kyle Dougherty, an ordinance to amend Chapter 723 of the codified ordinances.
Thank you. This is the third reading of amended ordinance 25-54. Councilmember Hayes.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend the amended ordinance 2025-54 with the following amendments. Okay. The main changes to the ordinance as it sits right now are that it is kind of a walk back to the original, but then added along with the license agreement. I would like to that we all agreed on with the Tiffin Fire Rescue Division, City of Tiffin license info. The four changes would be amendments to 723-05B. This is the permit to operate on city property, making that a fee of $25 a week. That is the same as existing law. 723-05C1. This is adding a 100-foot rule requiring a mobile food vendor to stay at least 100 foot from the main entrance of a brick and mortar restaurant unless the vendor has permission of the property owner or restaurant owner, or if the mobile food vendor is operated by the restaurant owner. Also changing 723-06B, this would change the 3 days of operation to 24 hours. This would be, the intention of this would be to, we would expect them to tear down and move at the end of each day, but this would be a small exception, allow them to keep their truck there during the week. But then they would have to move if operating stopped for more than 24 hours. And then the fourth change is change the effective date to April 1st, 2026.
Thank you. So there's a motion as described by Councilmember Hayes to make those 4 changes. Is there a second? Councilmember Snee.
Yes, I'd like to second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Hayes. Sorry.
Yeah, so just to clarify a little more, these were the changes that we left the long community planning with. We had kind of walked back everything and then said, okay, what can we get in to have it back in front of council and to read? This is what we landed on, particularly the effective date to April 1st, 2026. This lines up with the current permit dates. Right now, the permit date is from April 1st of this year to March 31st of 2026. So as this amendment will read, or might read, the effective date would be April 1st, 2026, to give us a little more flexibility and then kind of have it coincide with a new permit as well.
Thank you. Councilmember Herniman.
Are we voting, those are kind of like 3 separate motions? Are we voting on each one of those individually or is a group?
No, this was one motion for all 4 of those changes.
Yeah, sorry, these were the changes made to the existing ordinance as it was. This is what.
During the long community planning
correct.
meeting.
So it's amendment to change, and I was just explaining the changes.
Gotcha.
Any other discussion? Yes, Councilmember Thacker.
I just wanted to maybe clarify that I would be in favor of most of these changes and will likely vote yes on this, but with the expectation that I will be making my own amendment suggestion.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion before we vote? Okay, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Okay. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
No.
Okay, motion carries with a vote of 5 in favor and 1 opposed. Councilmember Thacker.
I would like to further amend this legislation by changing the current amended ordinance to say, under 72304A, a fee of $100 for a 1-year license, and remove under 72305, location B, and must pay in advance a fee of $25 per week.
Okay, there is a motion to amend ordinance 2554 regarding the filing fee to be increased to $100 and removing the weekly permit fee of $25. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner.
I'll second, Madam President.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Thacker.
Over the past week, after we had this long community planning meeting, I've talked to a couple different local business owners and food truck vendors and people who are interested in opening food trucks too, that are local business owners. And I felt like this might be a compromise to our local business owners who will be more impacted than somebody who's coming in for an event, who will not have to pay the permit fee if they're part of a special event. And instead, it's going to put the burden on people who are more local business owners than food trucks coming in from outside, more likely.
Thank you. Councilmember Reesner.
Yeah, I like the idea of this. It's a compromise. It streamlines the administration of this to some extent and simplifies it a little bit too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Councilmember Herniman.
I think it's a good compromise for the fee structure and such.
Great. Any other discussion? Okay, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the vote, please.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries with a vote of 6-0. Any other discussion on amended ordinance 25-54? Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, Councilmember Herniman.
Sorry, I would like to make a motion that anywhere in the legislation with that part of the licensure, that food truck vendors are required to file with the City of Tiffin Income Tax Department.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion to amend Ordinance 2554 to require the food truck vendors to file within the city. Is there a second? Okay, there's no second, so the motion dies. Anything else for amended Ordinance 25-54? Councilmember Herniman.
I move to put it back on the table and talk it over more.
We need a second, though, for discussion. So there's the same motion. Is there a second? Okay, motion dies.
Ordinance number 2025-62, introduced by Kevin Reesner. An ordinance amending the 2025 budget ordinance 24-94 to appropriate funds into the fire capital budget.
Thank you. This is the first reading of Ordinance 25-62. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate passage of Ordinance 2025-62, suspending City Council's reading rule.
Thank you. There's a motion to suspend Council's 3 reading rule and immediate passage of Ordinance 25-62. Is there a second? Councilmember
I'll
Horniman.
second that motion, Madam President.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Reesner.
This is for $35,000 for supplies, specifically hoses for the to upgrade the fire department. I believe it's a matter of safety. That's why I'm presenting the suspension. And also, they have been selling some fixed assets. Been very responsible with the spending. So.
Thank you. Councilmember Herniman.
Yeah, they've been training with these hoses at Raiders training things, and there's been really good feedback and such and everything to update these. The way they're funding it is the ambulance that was for sale. I wanted to buy it myself. I couldn't. They got $25,400 for that, and then they have the Mack truck that they're also selling for $7,000 to cover the cost for the new hoses for $35,000.
Thank you. Councilmember Snee, did you have something?
Yes, Madam President. Okay, so we're having a suspension. Should we include an emergency in there? Do we need?
Yeah, there's no need for an emergency when you appropriate funds. You'll see in section 2, it's effective once the mayor signs it. That's just the way it reads in the charter.
Okay, we learn something new every day.
Sure.
Mayor.
Also, Chief Chappell said that there's no hurry on that, so you don't have to worry about the emergency.
All right.
Any other discussion? Okay, we will first vote on the suspension.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Herman.
Yes.
Thank you. The suspension passes with a vote of 6-0. We'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Herman.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 25-62 passes with a vote of 6-0.
Ordinance number 2025-63, introduced by Kevin Reesner. An ordinance amending the 2025 budget ordinance 24-94 to appropriate funds into the general administration budget for a baseball complex feasibility study at Hedges Boyer Park.
Thank you. This is the first reading of ordinance 25-63. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate passage of Ordinance 2025-64, suspending City Council's reading rule.
We're on ordinance 25-63.
This is 63.
We're at 63.
63 is,
The park.
It's going to your committee, yeah.
that's the committee, so.
Yeah.
I rescind my motion.
Okay, thank you.
Next Monday.
There is no 63. Oh, there is.
Okay. Ordinance number 2025-64, introduced by Kevin Reesner. An ordinance amending the 2025 budget ordinance 24-94 to transfer $120,000 within the capital improvements fund and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. This is the first reading of ordinance 25-64. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate passage of Ordinance 2025-64, suspending city council's reading rule.
Thank you. There's a motion for suspension of council's 3 reading rule and immediate passage of ordinance 25-64. Is there a second? Councilmember Jones.
I'll second that motion, Madam President.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Herdman.
This is the money that was donated from the Labyrinth project and such, and we're just not going to be able to get to it this year. And we want to make sure that we return the money from the very generous donor.
Thank you. Any other discussion, Law Director?
Sure. Just a little background for you all. After speaking with the park director, so you received the donation, you passed the ordinance to have the competitive bidding, and that was done. There were no successful bids, basically because of the timeline. The donor was requesting to have this done by September 20th. Just was not a timeline that any of the contractors out there could meet. I think there is desire. There are 1 or 2 contractors that had interest. They just couldn't meet the deadline. So the intent, the way it was explained to me, is that the donor will redonate this money in the future, and then you'll go through the same process, reappropriate and authorize competitive bidding. But the donor essentially just wanted the money back as so he felt more in control of the funds.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, we will vote on the suspension.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
Yes.
Thank you. Suspension passes with a vote of 6-0. We'll now vote on the emergency.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
Yes.
Thank you. Emergency passes with a vote of 6-0. We'll now vote on the passage.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 25-64 passes with a vote of 6-0.
Ordinance number 2025-65, introduced by Kevin Reesner, an ordinance amending the 2025 Budget Ordinance 24-94 to appropriate funds into the general administration budget and park budget.
Thank you. This is the first reading of ordinance 25-65. Councilmember Reesner.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate passage of ordinance 2025-65, suspending city council's reading rule.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion for suspension and immediate passage of ordinance 25-65. Is there a second? Okay, motion dies. Thank you. Councilmember Snee.
I'll go ahead and second that. Or did you already say so?
I defer to you. I mean,
I didn't hear what she said, so.
okay. Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Reesner.
Ordinance 2025-65. I just realized I need to do the 3-reading rule. But this is for supplies and materials, $101.19 into the general fund, and then Park and Rec into Fund 242 for $250.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, we will vote on the suspension.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
Yes.
Thacker.
No.
Hayes.
Yes.
And Horniman.
No.
So the suspension fails with a vote of 4-2.
We can move to legislation.
Thank you. We are now under other business. Is there any other business to come before council this evening? Councilmember Thacker.
I guess I feel like because we've made all of these changes to the food truck ordinance, I'm in favor of making a motion to pass this legislation. I guess I didn't realize that we were moving on after we read it for the 3rd time. I kind of assumed somebody would make a motion, but since nobody did, I would like to, I guess.
Okay. There's a motion to pass amended ordinance 25-54. Is there a second? Councilmember Reesner.
I'll second the motion, Madam President.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Hayes.
Yeah, my reasoning with not passing was just to, publicly kind of share all the changes and have it sit, especially with the effective date is now April 1st, 2026.
It's fair.
Just kind of let it marinate for 2 weeks longer, but, yeah.
Councilmember Herniman.
I don't think that this is ready to be passed. I have a list of amendments, and I've not been trying to rapid fire them, that I think would really benefit the legislation and need to be discussed. And I can't get a second, so yeah, it's not going to happen tonight.
Councilmember Thacker.
I do think in general, though, we've talked about this for so many months that I'm just surprised that we still want to let it move on for one more reading. We had at this point, 3 committee meetings about this legislation. I personally have talked to business owners, to food truck owners, to people that live in town. If it doesn't pass tonight, I'm not heartbroken, but I think if you can't get a second on a motion, it's because people aren't in favor of it.
Councilmember Herniman.
I would much rather get it right and get time for people, for feedback from business owners, food truck owners, residents, everyone before, and have something that is, that just kind of checks the boxes. I'm looking for 3 or 4 things that need to be in it, and some are and some aren't.
Any other discussion before we vote on the motion? Okay, can I ask the clerk to call the roll, please?
Councilmember Jones.
No.
Councilmember Reesner.
Yes.
Snee.
No.
Thacker.
Yes.
Hayes.
No.
And Hardeman.
No.
Yeah, motion fails. Yes, Law Director.
So with that, you don't have any pending mobile food ordinance changes. So what's on the books is what stays until this is reevaluated. The only thing I would say is that this started with the fire chief asking for changes to mirror the state fire code. I think the fire chief, and I'm probably speaking out of turn, I can let him do it, but I would think he's going to be asking you to still at least make those changes at a minimum. So don't be surprised if this comes back to you.
Mayor?
I have a question for the law director.
Sure.
So now it seems like some of the council members want this to go back to committee. Does there have to be a motion to put it back on the table and send it back to committee?
So the legislation's dead, but if somebody would like, I guess, the issue to be assigned to a committee, they could ask the council president for that.
Councilmember Herniman.
I volunteer my committee.
Okay. That I'm fine with that. So I will send this back to, or over to the Economic Development and Downtown Planning Committee.
Thank you, Madam President.
Any other business to come before council this evening? Would you like to schedule a meeting?
Sure. How does, following all the other committee meetings that are going to be announced and everything, we can actually, why don't we wait? Is there another day other than Monday that might be good for other members of the Economic Development and the rest of the council members?
Councilmember Reesner, did you have something?
Just want to announce my Finance Committee meeting, August 11th at 5:15, to discuss ordinance 2025-63 and any other business that comes before the committee.
Okay, thank you. Apologies, Councilmember Herniman. I thought it was in response to your question, so apologies. We can go back to
I
you.
just, if the ones that the committee meetings we talked about at committee of the whole, you can go ahead and announce them and then we'll work off that.
Councilmember Baker.
I guess I'd like to also announce a Street Sidewalk Sewers Committee meeting immediately following the Finance Committee meeting on Monday, August 11th, 2025 in Council Chambers. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss Mayor's request for legislation 25-38 and any other business that comes before that committee.
Thank you. Councilmember Hayes.
Yes, I'd like to announce a Personnel and Labor Relations Committee meeting Monday, August 11th, following Streets, Sidewalks, and Sewers Committee. We will be discussing mayor's request for legislation.
2539.
2539.
2539, thank you. And any other business to come before our committee.
Thank you. Councilmember Herniman.
Would 5:15 on Thursday be okay on the 14th, on August 14th? At 5:15 on Thursday?
I'm not sure who all is on your committee. Apologies. Who's that directed to?
It is. Aaron's on it.
No.
Denny?
I could not make that.
Joe, it's a
No?
factor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me.
What about Wednesday, the 13th at 5:15?
I will make it work, but I'm skipping another meeting that I already have planned at 5:30.
How about 6? Would that be better, maybe?
Goes until 7. Yeah, sorry. I can make it work if it works for everybody else. I'm just, would prefer a different
Denny, you
day.
good?
What day?
Wednesday, the
committee.
13th at
You don't want to come
5:15.
talk about food trucks?
Yeah, Wednesday I can do, but
Till October.
No?
I think you're best to have since you have a committee of 3, if you can make all 3 members.
Gotcha. I would like to announce a economic development downtown planning meeting for Wednesday, August 13th at 5:15 PM in council chambers to discuss food trucks, mobile food vendor license amendments.
Thank you. Any other business to come before council this evening? Sure.
I'm sorry, I don't know how any of this works, and I got in late, but I'm a food vendor, and I just had some questions. I didn't know.
Okay, sure. You can step to the podium. It's okay. You can.
So I just got into the game late. I've only had my food trailer for about 5 weeks. I sell pretzel bites. So I don't know about all the things that are going on. But I'm curious to kind of see what just happened. So I understand I've got my food license. I went to the fire department. Mr. Holman came out, did a great inspection. I paid that fee. So my question is that I guess it's on the plate that there should be a $25 fee for a week to use a public access parking lot if it's one of the city lots, correct? Does that sound about right?
And the permit usually is issued by the city administrator, who happens to be on vacation today, so he's not here.
Well, no, it's okay, because I paid last week, and then when I got to the spot, somebody else that did not pay, that never pays, was in the spot. And that's fine, good for him, make your money. I'm all about making money. But why, I guess my question is, why are we paying where other people can park for free publicly? Is it just because we're selling food that we should be charged the $25? Because parking lot 7, for instance, is full of public parking spots. I mean, you can't live there. You can plug a car in there now. But why are food vendors required to pay to park in a public parking spot that's free to everyone else? Please.
Yeah, sure. So what's on the ordinances right now is that requirement. And that really comes from the idea of, from the city's perspective, there's an administrative cost, to issue the permit to give you access to the spot. Of course, there are people who bend and break rules, and that's on us to enforce that. But you are using a public spot that's different than what normally a person might use. So in the parking lots where people are parking to go to a business or to wherever they need to go. So again, it's those administrative costs. It's giving you the license, it's designating those spots, it's putting the signs out, it's making sure that you'd have the spot available. And I know you said that wasn't always the case, but.
No, it was my first time.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Was that later in the evening or what time?
Yeah, we were going to set up at 10. We kind of were late, but I had paid for it on Thursday. I got the email on Friday, designating that spot. And then we got down there Saturday evening, around 9:30 or 10 maybe, and someone was in that spot. So I just parked in a different area because they were already set up, and I'm like, no, ain't no sense in moving. But I really don't know that, I mean, who's going to drive around at nighttime, you know what I mean, and enforce these rules. I just don't understand why the rule was put in place in the first place, I guess. Why the $25? You know, why not 10? Why not, I'm just joking when I say why not 50, I'm just joking. But why was there a fee even put out in the first place to just be able to park somewhere? And obviously, and I just ran into John Reno, who I've known since I was a little child. And I was told him, like, I was coming up here, I said, if I sold pizzas, I would never park in front of your business. I get like where the brick and mortar people are like, hey, if you sell hot dogs, please don't park here. But I guess just starting out, I didn't realize, you know, yeah, okay, sometimes you look at the $25 for a week and you think, that's no big deal. But I guess, wondered why. Like, where's the money go? I only know of 3 vendors right now in Tiffin that actually are in, you know, that like to hang out in town. But we get like the lobster guy comes every once in a while, I guess. People like, I don't like lobster, but. So I just didn't really understand, like, where does the $25 go? To what fund do these payments go to? And is it like parking lot maintenance or to, I guess I'm confused where the money goes.
Kathy, does that not all just go to the general fund?
That's what I was thinking, the general fund, yeah. Councilmember Herniman.
I think some of those costs are associated also with, they've had, especially with like the city lot spots where like the trash cans get overflowed and stuff and everything, or they don't clean up at.
Right
I
on.
think, and there's a public works employee that is in charge
Has
of
to
that.
come
So,
out, right.
Not
Okay.
that, I mean, I was against the $25 fee. I mean, it's one of those, I'm on 40 hours of food truck time and like, you know, like we're doing
right.
stuff. I want to fix it and make it fair. But like what you're talking about, one of the amendments that I want to put in is very clearly, if people violate, this happens the first time. This happens the second time, the third time we pull your license because
Right.
you had, I mean, and that needs to be in there.
You pulled the permit,
Person that is not-
$50 permit license.
Yeah, the person
Right.
that's stealing spots and not doing stuff the right way, you know, there's 3 strikes and, you know, sorry, you can't operate in our city.
So,
Right. Yes, ma'am.
no, go ahead.
I guess I'd like to add that, to me, it seems like with the compromise that I brought up earlier, to pay $100 for the vending license for the whole year and remove the $25 fee, it seems like most people are in agreement with that right now, which is why I tried to push tonight to pass it, because I felt like we had finally settled on something that most people agreed with. And my concern is, every time we kick this back to committee, we confuse the public more and more. And this is the, you know, not
'Cause
to
I'm
use you
getting
as an
like-
example, but it is confusing. And unless you're deeply in every single meeting and following every single change.
And I'm only
so what,
hearing like a
it's-
little bit from this person, or like, did you see this? And I'm just like, I just want to sell pretzel buns. That's all I want to do. I'm a veteran. I'm a Gulf War vet, and I'm just trying to, you know, make some money. I don't want to be a millionaire. I want to be happy. You can't put a price on happy. It's not as bad as I thought when everybody goes, oh, the fees, the fines, blah, blah, blah. So what you're stating is the $50 that I already paid, you're saying to make that 100, that permit, and knock out the 25 per week.
Yeah.
Right, I
Right.
see what you're saying.
Right.
It's just all very confusing, and then what I hear outside, you know, on the street. So I was just really super confused about everything. But it does make sense about trash and everything. I would hope that the vendors would pick up after themselves, but.
Most of them are pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great spots. So I was just kind of trying to figure everything out. And then I don't know if you said something about taxes, sir.
Yeah, filing with the city income tax department.
That would probably be what we all have to do, isn't it?
I
don't know.
didn't get a second on it, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, just like when I just left my tax person earlier. But when you go to do your taxes, I guess if you have an income and you live at 96
Well,
Riverside
they,
Drive,
if
you're
they
going
come
to
in
pay
from
city
Fremont
tax.
and stuff like that in Upper
Oh,
Sandusky.
the outside
They're
guys.
not paying taxes.
Yeah, because that's not going to follow you like if you work for a company and they send you out of town. I see what you're saying,
Yes.
right? I understand. Okay. I'm sorry, thank you.
No, apologies for the confusion.
No, I didn't.
And
I've never been here.
yeah,
Which is
no.
maybe, that's cool. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But then when you said, does anybody have anything, I hadn't heard about the food stuff yet, so that's why I was sorry.
No, and thank you for your business in Tiffin.
I have
We
one
welcome you.
more question about parking lot 7.
Sure.
It's this big, the parking spots, there's 2.
Yeah.
They're really, really tiny. Can it be extended? I don't know who can fit in there. It's super, very tiny. It's like 2 parking spots. And I didn't know if I don't know what the other parking spots look like in the other city lots, but I know that in 7, if you've got a good 20-foot trailer, you're not getting in there.
Or if somebody's parked in the spot right adjacent to
Right
there, you're
adjacent.
not getting in no matter what kind of vehicle you have.
Yeah, so I don't know, could that be
So-
something that somebody could maybe look into? I just have a little 13-inch, but I pull it with my little truck and try to keep everything connected because my generator, blah, blah, blah. But is there a way to maybe extend that? Because I looked at that and I was like, well, I'm glad that guy's there because I can't fit in there. I wouldn't have been able to fit in there if they could extend those parking spots that's on that far wall, the
The
south
city
wall.
administrator and I are trying to work out details about those city available parking spots in the parking lots. So
Maybe I could run my camper or my food trailer off the electric thing. No, I'm just kidding. Electric car things.
no.
All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Any other business to come before council this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we can adjourn. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
We voted against each other multiple times.